Yo YouTube, today's video we're going to be breaking down Crystal Dunn's 85 rated ratings reload. Is this card a good card to use in Ultimate Team? Let's break it down, starting off with the base card. So what we have here is an 85 rated card, and this is officially another member of the Hullet Gang. What is the Hullet Gang? I don't even know what FIFA. Many years ago, the Hullet Gang was exclusive club for cards that have 80 rated plus stats in every single department. These cards like Nangolan, Hullet, these were the all-round cards in FIFA or FC, and these cards were very, very good in the centre mid position. That was normally their best position, and sometimes you had cards as a right back or a left back that also had this, but most of the time you want to use this card as a midfielder, and for me Dunn is no different. If you look at the base card, incredible. 87 pace, gets up and down at all times, 80 shooting. To be honest with you, if you can abuse the meta shots, the low drivens, those kind of far post shots, you can get away with this. Even though it's not high 80s, you can definitely get away with the 80 shooting. Then you have 83 passing as a midfielder, a little bit low, you want a little bit more, but I didn't use Dunn as that creative outlet. She's not going to have the passing as De Jong, right? But she's going to have decent passing for the quick 1-2s. She does have a couple of passing playstyles as well that, you know, help her out a little bit, that do allow her to kind of be useful in that midfield position. But for 65k, you're getting just a more of an all-rounded card that for me personally is a little bit more defensive as a primary thing, and then I use her passing to get to my other ball carrying centre mid. In this case I use a 4-4-2. I actually had Dunn and De Jong, so what I would do is I would use Dunn to kind of win the ball back. She would kind of be like Kante many years ago in FIFA when he was really, really good, and that's kind of how I use Dunn as my more defensive midfielder, and then I get the ball into De Jong, maybe make some 1-2s, and he can make more of the creative flair passes. Then we go across, we look at her defending and physicality. 80 defending, 82 physicality. One thing I will say is her overall cards, they look like she has like mid 80s, but if you actually look at her in-game stats, a lot of those, I think she plays a lot better than the stats. I'll give you a perfect example, right? Her defending is 80, but her actual heading accuracy is 58. So when you minus that, she actually has really good defending. She's 89 interceptions, 84 stand tackle, 84 slide tackle, really, really good. In terms of her passing as well, right? Her two worst passing attributes are her crossing and her free kick accuracy. What you really want is her short passing. Her short passing is 88. Her long passing is 85. Her vision is 87. So she can actually be a really good card if you ignore the actual base card and look at the in-game stats. In terms of the overall pros of this card, I wrote that she's an all-round Hullet Gang, amazing centre mid, perfect centre mid, good base playstyle. Her cons were high. If you want a bit more physicality in the midfield, it's a little bit of a struggle. Now, we do have the rest of the video. If you're watching this on YouTube Shorts, the rest of the breakdown will be go through everything else in detail, will be on my actual YouTube channel. Check it out. But for the rest of you, we're going to break down the video now, go through the actual card and the actual in-game stats. So yeah, if you guys enjoy the short, make sure to check out the real video. Okay, time to go into the actual card now. What we're going to do is, once again, break down each pro now. All-round Hullet Gang. So what do I mean by that? Why is it such a big pro? Why is it top of my list? It's because especially the formation I use, which was a 4-4-2, you want your midfielders to be creating, you want them to be defending, you want them to do a little bit of everything. So I actually feel like having somebody with 80s everything is so good. You want that all-round balance. You don't want them to lack. Like, there's a lot of midfielders that are really good offensively, but they lack defense. And in a 4-4-2, I just don't think you want that. And, you know, some vice versa. You have some midfielders that are good defensively, but not providing that offensive balance. And you're seeing it right here. Like, she's scoring a goal here. Like, she did a bit of everything. And I think it's amazing. And for only 60,000 coins, you can really get like a great card. She was very fun on the ball. Her dribbling was insane. The fact that her dribbling was one of her best attributes was really good because I used her more defensively, but she was able to just get out, and it was just really good. Like, I think this card was just a lot of fun to use. The next pro I wrote was perfect centre mid. Kind of ties into point number one, right? In terms of like, this centre mid was someone that she did a bit of everything. She won the ball back a lot. She went up, she went down. It was just everything you need in a centre mid for me personally. I think what you pay for in the more expensive cards are a bit more, just a little bit more in terms of the stats and the playstyles, like having more playstyle pluses, having maybe like higher, like an 88 passing, stuff like that. So you can get midfielders like De Jong, who I think are a little bit more all-rounded, but also come with another 200,000 coins. So that's why I think in terms of value for money for 70k, you're getting a really good card. The next pro I spoke about was good base playstyle. So let's kind of go through her playstyles. What do I mean by that? So in these type of cards, when you have the centre mids, they're normally going to have a couple of play styles, and sometimes they're not going to be amazing. But with this card, and what I noticed as well was she actually had really good base play styles. So in terms of shooting, she didn't have any. But again, I wasn't using her in the final third as much as maybe my attackers, right? But you're seeing it right here. She still gets in the box and she can still shoot, right? But Shooting playstyle, you probably want like a finesse or a low driven. Again, if we're being really picky, you're looking for a higher coin card, for sure that's what you want. Let me just rewind these clips because I had a 5-minute highlight, so we'll run it back. But in terms of passing playstyle, the one I really want is incisive passing, long ball, or tick attacker. She actually has tick attacker, which is fine. That's actually a really good passing playstyle for midfielders, so I was happy with that. Again, no pluses on this specific card, so that's another thing that lacking a little bit compared to maybe other players. She doesn't have a playstyle plus, which definitely could go through, which I did talk about, which I will talk about soon. Ball control, she has rapid, which is really good as a fullback, really good. As a midfielder, it's just nice to have. I didn't really utilize it too much because it's more useful out wide, but still really nice to have. Then you go across to a physical. She has quick step, just like rapid, allows her to get really fast on the ball with the dribbles, that first touch. Overall pace is electrifying. And relentless is so good for a midfielder because she doesn't get tired as much. She also has, if I go to her card again, what's her stamina? She also has an 83 stamina with relentless, which is just really good because you don't want your midfielders getting tired, of course, because they're going to, start at the end of the game, start being a detriment to your basic defensive duties, and it's going to get a bit annoying. So you don't want that at all. Then we go over to her cons. Not many cons. One was her height as a centre mid. It didn't really affect me yet, but I could see it potentially being a problem. Having a midfielder only being, I believe she was, let me see her height. Let me see her height. Yeah, she's 5'1". So even in game, I think for small players like Diani, for example, you like having small players in around the attacking third. So I think her lack of height does help her with her left stick dribbling. If you guys play FIFA, you'll know as well, like your left stick dribbling is better generally with females because they're normally smaller in height. That's why like Pina, Diani, these players feel nice to dribble with. Rodrigo, he isn't over 6 foot either. So I think if you can get like a player even like Messi, like normally like players under like 5'7", 5'8", like have nice dribbling because they're more agile and the left stick feels nicer. When you get someone like Haaland or Gyökeres, you'll realize that even if their dribbling is good, they're just a bit more clunky because of their height. That's always been a thing for the last few years. So Dunn has amazing dribbling, and her height can be seen as a pro if she's more attacking. The reason I use it as a con is because of her defensive duties, which is the main reason I use her. That's why it's a con for this specific card. Then we go to agility. Agility, actually no, agility is a weird one, to be honest with you. I don't know why I've got agility on there. That might be a mistake because I don't look at this card as having bad agility, so I want you to ignore that one. That low-key might be a mistake. Maybe that's from a different card because I obviously use the same overlay and just change all the features. So I don't agree with the agility one. Looking at it now, yeah, we'll ignore that one because she is very agile. In fact, her speed's actually one of the best attributes. The next con, if I had to replace agility, I'd probably say maybe... Honestly, I don't really know any other cons. Maybe shooting playstyle, if we're being really picky with it, I guess because it's shooting playstyle. But yeah, because, especially for like midfielders, I like having long shots just as an option. So she doesn't have that. But again, she drives in the box really well, so it's fine. But the last con, and this is something that could see me maybe not use her in my team all the time, is again the playstyle. She has the playmaker as a centre mid. I personally prefer like her as a holding because if I have two midfielders, I feel like I prefer more of a cam. It's weird because she did a really good job there. I still prefer a cam there. I would have preferred her holding and having like a different another centre mid as my more advanced playmaker kind of role. So it's good that she has it, but I would have loved if she had holding as well to give you options. So right now, the only one thing I would say is like when I'm using Dunn, I feel like I have to use her more advanced when I think she's better defensively. She still does a really good job advanced. You're seeing it here again. She's got good features, her dribbling, her overall pace. She is really good in that role, but I would have liked to have the option. If I had, like, for example, like, let's say I packed like an untradeable, really good centre mid, like, let's say I got like an icon Zidane, right? And I'm using Dunn and Zidane. The playstyles wouldn't match because I want Zidane to be the more aggressive playmaker in the 4-4-2, but Dunn doesn't have the holding playstyle. So you kind of relying on Dunn to be your attacking midfielder when I just feel like I would prefer to have the option at least to have holding. That's kind of the main con. But yeah, besides that, really good card. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. In terms of value, what are we looking for? I'll give it an 8.5. There's a few small things that I kind of covered, but I think a really fun card overall. Like, even last year I packed her untradeable and she was one of my favorite midfielders. So versatile. I didn't even use her as a left back, but last year she was unbelievable as a right back. You could use her as a cam as well, right mid. She's very versatile. decent links as well, because she's from USA. You can get her with Wilson. She's from PSG as well, so you can get her with Diani. There's a lot of Liga F players as well, so she's got good links, good play styles. Overall, really solid card. I'll give her an 8.75. Actually, will be really niche. We'll give her an 8.75 out of 10. Great card, great value for coins. If you're looking for like an all-round solid midfielder, maybe she links with your team, I think you should go for it, to be honest. She is very, very good. And like I said, you probably want to use her as a playmaker, unless you're happy to use her without the role plus. But I like using the role plus because she did get into good position. So maybe just kind of, you could save coins on your other midfielder and you use her as the main playmaker and go from there. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like, subscribe. We'll have another player review later on today. We're going to be doing, who are we going to be doing? What is the other player review we're going to be doing? I had it right here. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. Khadija Shaw. That's it. Khadija Shaw. She has a ratings reload card as well, so we'll be doing that after this. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you guys for another video later on today. Peace.